Can you imagine the feeling of discovering that the technology we rely on to keep us safe can record events that completely defy the laws of physics? On June 3, 2023, Ethan Walters, a 29-year-old software engineer, was driving from Portland to Denver when his GPS recorded something that should be absolutely impossible. His Toyota Camry moving at 120 kilometers per hour through a mountainous area where there is no road, bridge, or any kind of passage for land vehicles. Ethan wasn't the type of person who got lost easily or made impulsive decisions while traveling. As an engineer specializing in navigation systems, he understood better than most people how GPS, cell towers, and tracking technologies worked. His life revolved around precise data, meticulous planning, and backup plans for virtually everything he did. The trip Ethan was taking in early June should have been one of the most important of his life. A permanent move from Oregon to Colorado, where he had landed his dream job at an automotive tech startup in Denver. He had planned the route weeks in advance, shared his detailed itinerary with family and colleagues, and set up multiple tracking systems so people could follow his progress in real time. Have you ever had that experience of completely relying on technology for an important trip? Obsessively checking navigation apps and keeping multiple devices charged as backups? That's exactly how Ethan approached any long trip. His car was equipped with built-in GPS. He kept 2 navigation apps active on his phone, and he even wore a smartwatch that automatically recorded his location every few minutes. For the first 8 hours of the trip, everything went perfectly as planned. Ethan checked in regularly with his sister Maya, sent photos of the spectacular landscapes he encountered along the route, and maintained constant communication that reassured everyone about the normal progress of his journey. His last messages, sent around 2:30 p.m., showed a relaxed traveler excited about the views of the Rocky Mountains. But at 4:17 p.m. that June afternoon, something extraordinary began to appear in the GPS data that multiple systems were automatically recording. 3 hours later, Ethan's GPS signal simply stopped in the middle of the Root National Forest in a remote area of Colorado, where topographic maps confirmed there were no roads, vehicle trails, or any type of land access that a conventional sedan could use. What you are about to discover may surprise you, because when search and rescue teams reached the final coordinates recorded by Ethan's devices, they found something that completely transformed a routine rescue operation into an investigation that would challenge our understanding of technology, geography, and the limits of what we consider possible. Stay with me until the end, because forensic analysis of Ethan's GPS data has revealed anomalies that navigation experts still can't satisfactorily explain, and the discovery made at the location where his signals stopped has raised disturbing questions about what might actually happen in certain remote areas of the Rocky Mountains. The digital trail Ethan left behind doesn't tell the story of a conventional accident or even a typical crime. Instead, the data suggests that something happened that June afternoon that transcends our normal understanding of how vehicles move through physical space. When search teams arrived at the coordinates, they found only footprints leading to a discovery that completely changed our understanding of what happened that isolated night in the mountains. Ethan Walters' story forces us to confront an uncomfortable reality about our reliance on technology for security and navigation. If our most trusted devices can record seemingly impossible events, and if those records can be our only clue to the fate of missing persons, it raises fundamental questions about our ability to understand and investigate modern mysteries. Now we'll find out exactly who Ethan Walters was, why an experienced navigation technology engineer chose an alternate route through isolated mountainous terrain, and how someone known for his obsessive precision in planning could simply disappear, leaving only data that defies logical explanation. But before we delve into Ethan's life and the technical details that make his disappearance so perplexing, I need to share something important with you. When I started researching this case, I realized we're dealing with a completely new kind of mystery. Cases where our reliance on digital technology for security may be creating types of evidence that we simply don't know how to properly interpret. If this topic resonates with you, if you've ever wondered about the complete trust we place in GPS and tracking devices during trips, leave a comment below about what has resonated with you so far. Have you ever had strange experiences with navigation technology that made you question whether we truly understand how these systems work? Or perhaps you know someone who has had serious problems because they trusted GPS data too much. Your participation here is what makes this channel grow and reach more people with this type of investigative content that explores modern mysteries. Each comment you leave not only helps me understand what kind of case resonates most with you, but also creates a community of people interested in understanding phenomena that our technological society is still learning to investigate. And look, if you're feeling that unease I felt when I first saw Ethan's impossible GPS data, click the like button below. It shows me I'm on the right track, bringing you cases that truly challenge our understanding of technology and modern mysteries, and that deserves serious investigation even when they defy conventional explanations. If you want to continue exploring with me these mysteries where modern technology meets inexplicable phenomena, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because I can guarantee that the analysis of Ethan's data will reveal aspects of technological anomalies that go far beyond simple equipment failures, and I have other cases where devices recorded seemingly impossible events before people disappeared. It is this curious and engaged community that we have built together that makes it possible for me to dedicate weeks analyzing complex technical data, consulting with navigation technology experts, and most importantly, honoring the memory of people like Ethan as we search for answers in types of evidence that conventional investigators often don't know how to process. Ethan Michael Walters was born and raised in Portland, Oregon, in a family of engineers who valued both technological innovation and outdoor adventures. From a young age, he demonstrated a natural aptitude for understanding complex systems, but also a genuine passion for exploring natural landscapes, always equipped with the most advanced devices to ensure safety during his expeditions. The combination of technical expertise and a love of exploration had shaped both Ethan's career and personality. At 29, he had specialized in developing automotive navigation systems, working specifically on algorithms that improved GPS accuracy in challenging terrain. Exactly the kind of knowledge that should have protected him from the situation he would encounter in the Rocky Mountains. Ethan's life transformation had begun 6 months before his fateful trip, when he received a job offer that represented everything he had ever dreamed of professionally. AutoNav Solutions, a Denver-based startup specializing in autonomous driving technology, had recruited him to lead the development of navigation systems for autonomous vehicles in off-road environments. It was the perfect opportunity to combine his passion for technology with his love for wild landscapes. Ethan's meticulous mindset was reflected in every aspect of his personal and professional life. Colleagues described him as someone who obsessively documented every project, maintained backups of all important data, and never left details to chance. This trait had become even more pronounced when it came to travel, especially after an incident years earlier where GPS problems during a hike on Mount Hood nearly resulted in a dangerous situation. The impact of that previous experience had shaped Ethan's approach to any trip involving unfamiliar territory. He had developed rigorous personal protocols that included multiple redundant navigation systems, automatic location sharing with at least 3 contacts, and regular check-ins at scheduled intervals. Friends and family had become accustomed to receiving constant updates on his travels, complete with GPS coordinates, geotagged photos, and up-to-date estimated times of arrival. The journey Ethan was undertaking in June 2023 represented much more than a simple job change. It was the beginning of a new phase of life that included engagement plans with his longtime girlfriend Sarah Chen, who had moved to Denver 2 months earlier to establish her own veterinary practice. The decision to drive instead of fly had been deliberate. Ethan wanted time to process the magnitude of the changes and enjoy the spectacular scenery the land route offered. The hidden truth about why Ethan's disappearance was so shocking to those who knew him was that he represented the exact opposite of the typical profile of someone who disappears mysteriously. He had no financial problems, troubled relationships, or personal issues that could motivate a voluntary disappearance. More importantly, his technical expertise and rigorous safety protocols made it virtually impossible for him to get lost or face emergencies without being able to call for help. The inner workings of Ethan's personality revealed someone who had turned precaution into an art. His Portland apartment contained emergency communication equipment. His vehicles always had complete survival kits, and he maintained contacts with rescue services in multiple states where he frequently traveled. Sarah joked that dating Ethan was like having a personal tech bodyguard. She always knew exactly where he was and how long it would take him to reach any destination. The revelations about the specific preparations Ethan had made for the Portland-Denver trip showed his meticulous character taken to the extreme. He had researched weather conditions, identified gas stations and hospitals along the route, downloaded offline maps for areas with limited cell phone coverage, and even informed relevant transit authorities about his travel schedule as an extra precaution. Ethan's decision to choose a specific route through the Rocky Mountains had been based on detailed analysis that combined time efficiency, scenic beauty, and safety considerations. He had rejected more direct routes because they passed through areas with a history of unpredictable weather conditions, opting instead for a path that added 2 hours to the journey, but offered spectacular scenery and superior road infrastructure. Ethan's obsessive sharing mentality extended beyond safety precautions. It was an integral part of how he experienced and processed adventures. He kept detailed blogs about his travels, shared technical discoveries on specialized forums, and documented every interesting landscape through geotagged photographs that would serve as a reference for future projects. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because analyzing the specific preparations Ethan had made for that seemingly routine trip reveals aspects of his systematic approach that make subsequent events even more inexplicable and disturbing. Comment below, Ethan was super prepared, if you also realize that his profile as someone meticulous and technologically sophisticated makes his mysterious disappearance even more perplexing and suggests that something extraordinary must have happened. An analysis of the specific preparations Ethan had made for that seemingly routine trip reveals aspects of his systematic approach that make subsequent events even more inexplicable and disturbing. The transformation of a carefully planned trip into a technological mystery investigation began with the extraordinary level of detail Ethan had applied to planning his Portland-Denver route. The impact of Ethan's planning methodology became evident when you analyzed the documents he had created for the trip. Using professional mapping software typically used for commercial logistics, he had developed a 17-page travel plan that included specific times for each segment of the route, strategic stopping points, historical traffic conditions, and even detailed weather analyses for each day of the week. The planned journey followed Interstate 84 through Oregon to Idaho, then I-80 through Wyoming, and finally state highways through Colorado to Denver. Ethan had rejected more direct routes because his research had revealed that they passed through areas with inconsistent cell phone coverage or a history of unpredictable weather conditions during June. The chosen route added approximately 2 hours to the total travel time, but offered superior infrastructure and scenery that he wanted to document. The hidden truth about why Ethan had chosen an alternate route through the mountains instead of more conventional flatland routes was related to both his work and his personal hobbies. As a developer of navigation systems for challenging terrain, he had planned to use the trip as a field opportunity to test algorithms he was developing, collecting data on GPS performance at varying elevations and complex topographical conditions. Ethan's tech-savvy mindset was reflected in the multiple redundant systems he had set up for tracking during his trip. His 2022 Toyota Camry came equipped with factory-integrated GPS, but he had additionally installed an aftermarket tracking system connected directly to the vehicle's battery. On a personal level, he kept 3 navigation apps active simultaneously on his iPhone: Apple Maps, Google Maps, and Waze. Behind the scenes, the monitoring systems Ethan used included technology that went far beyond what most people would consider necessary for a domestic trip. His Apple Watch Series 8 was configured to automatically record his location every 5 minutes and send data to cloud servers. He also carried a dedicated Garmin InReach GPS device that allowed satellite communication in areas without cell phone coverage, specifically for emergencies. The revelations about Ethan's last normal communications painted a picture of someone who was genuinely excited about the trip and confident about every aspect of his planning. His messages from the morning of June 3rd showed a relaxed traveler who had woken up early, checked weather conditions one last time, and confirmed that all technological systems were working perfectly. The decision to document the trip through constant communication was typical of Ethan, but it also served practical security purposes. He had established a protocol where he would send location updates to Sarah every 2 hours, share interesting photos with his family group on WhatsApp, and do technical check-ins with colleagues who were curious about the performance of the algorithms he was testing. The transformation in the nature of Ethan's communications during the morning of the trip showed someone who was enjoying both the technical and aesthetic aspects of the experience. His first messages included screenshots of GPS data showing excellent accuracy, photos of spectacular landscapes with exact coordinates, and enthusiastic comments about how the route was exceeding his expectations in terms of scenic beauty. The evidence regarding the specific travel schedule revealed that Ethan had left Portland at 6:30 a.m. as planned, had made scheduled stops at 2-hour intervals for fuel and equipment checks, and was maintaining a consistent speed that would get him to Denver by late afternoon, as he had promised Sarah. Everything was progressing exactly according to his meticulous plans. The backup and redundancy mindset that characterized Ethan extended even to his communications during the trip. In addition to regular messages, he had set up automatic systems that sent location data to multiple contacts without manual intervention, ensuring that at least 5 different people always knew his approximate position, even if he forgot to send manual updates. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject because the analysis of the technological data that began to be recorded at 4:17 p.m. that June afternoon reveals the exact moment when a perfectly normal trip turned into an event that challenges our understanding of how vehicles move through physical space. Analysis of the technological data that began recording at 4:17 p.m. that June afternoon reveals the exact moment when a perfectly normal journey transformed into an event that challenges our understanding of how vehicles move through physical space. The transformation in Ethan's GPS data did not happen gradually, as would be expected from conventional technical glitches, but suddenly and dramatically, forcing navigation experts to question fundamental assumptions about tracking technology. The impact of discovering the anomalies in the data was profound when investigators realized they weren't dealing with a simple equipment error, but with records documenting impossible physical movement. At 4:17 p.m., all of Ethan's tracking systems simultaneously began recording that his Toyota Camry was moving at speeds and through terrain that defied both the laws of physics and the known geography of the region. The journey through forensic data analysis revealed that between 4:17 p.m. and 7:23 p.m., Ethan's vehicle apparently traveled over 400 kilometers through territory that included steep mountain, peaks, deep canyons, and areas of dense forest where not even footpaths existed. Even more disconcerting, the data showed consistent speeds between 100 to 120 km/h across this impossible terrain. The hidden truth about the data anomalies was that they weren't limited to a single system, but appeared simultaneously on all the tracking devices Ethan used. The car's built-in GPS, the 3 navigation apps on his phone, his Apple Watch, and even the standalone Garmin InReach device all recorded the exact same impossible movement patterns with perfectly matching coordinate precision. The scientific mindset applied to the data initially was one of absolute skepticism. Dr. Michael Chen, a specialist in satellite navigation systems at the University of Colorado, was one of the first experts consulted about the anomalies. My initial reaction was that we were dealing with massive data corruption or some kind of coordinated hack, he admitted. The idea that the data could represent real movement wasn't even considered initially. Behind the scenes of the technical analysis, experts attempted to explain the anomalies through all known causes of GPS error: atmospheric interference, reflection of satellite signals, software glitches, and even deliberate sabotage. However, each proposed theory was subsequently eliminated by aspects of the data that did not fit conventional explanations. The most disturbing revelations came when cartographers created 3D visualizations of the route. That GPS data indicated Ethan had traveled. The digital trail showed the vehicle literally flying over mountain peaks at altitudes of over 3,000 meters, traversing canyons hundreds of meters deep, and navigating through dense forests where the tree canopy would make ground movement completely impossible. The decision to consult military and intelligence agency experts was made when civilian analyses failed to produce satisfactory explanations. These experts had access to classified data on electromagnetic interference and electronic warfare capabilities that could theoretically produce such sophisticated GPS spoofing. However, even they admitted that creating such consistent and coordinated spoofing across multiple systems simultaneously was beyond known technological capabilities. The researchers' attitude changed when they realized that the data not only documented impossible movement, but that this movement followed patterns suggesting purpose and direction. The impossible route was not random, but followed a specific trajectory that ended at precise coordinates in the middle of the Route National Forest. Coordinates that corresponded to an area where geological surveys indicated unusual underground formations. The most perplexing evidence as to why the technical data was not initially taken seriously included the natural bias of investigators against evidence that contradicted prior experience. When you've worked with GPS technology for decades, you develop assumptions about the types of errors that are possible, explained Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a navigation systems engineer. Data suggesting that a family sedan flew over mountains simply doesn't fit into any known failure category. The investigative mindset had to evolve to accommodate the possibility that they were dealing with phenomena that transcended current technological understanding. The precision and consistency of the anomalous data, combined with its perfect correlation across multiple, independent systems, forced investigators to consider that perhaps the data were documenting real events that they simply did not understand. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because the search and rescue expeditions that were sent to the final coordinates where Ethan's GPS signals stopped revealed physical discoveries that either validated the impossible data or indicated that something even more extraordinary had happened in that remote area of the Rocky Mountains. Comment. Below, data is impossible. If you're also noticing that Ethan's GPS records documented movement that should be physically impossible, but were recorded with such precision and consistency that it's hard to dismiss as a simple technical error. The search and rescue expeditions sent to the final coordinates where Ethan's GPS signals stopped revealed physical discoveries that either validated the impossible data or indicated that something even more extraordinary had happened in that remote area of the Rocky Mountains. The transformation of a technologically assisted rescue operation into an investigation that defied basic logic began when the first team arrived at the exact coordinates: latitude 40.5234 degree N, longitude 106.8891 degree W, in the heart of the Route National Forest. The impact of arriving at the site was immediate and disconcerting for teams who had expected to find a wrecked vehicle or at least obvious signs of human presence. The GPS coordinates led to a small clearing, surrounded by dense pine trees, located approximately 15 kilometers from the nearest paved road, in an area that topographic maps confirmed was accessible only on foot via steep trails requiring several hours of specialized hiking. The search team's journey across the terrain to the final coordinates had been challenging even for experienced professionals equipped with mountain gear. Access required navigating through dense vegetation, climbing over rock formations, and crossing streams, making it clear that no conventional land vehicle could have reached that location by normal means. The hidden truth about what the teams discovered in the clearing was even more disturbing than the absence of Ethan's vehicle. In the soft soil near the center of the area, investigators found clear shoe prints that exactly matched the footwear Ethan had worn when he left Portland. Size 10.5 Nike hiking shoes with a distinctive sole pattern that Sarah was able to confirm through photographs. The investigative mindset had to adapt quickly when analysis of the footprints revealed aspects that defied logical explanation. The prints appeared suddenly in the middle of the clearing, without any trail of footprints leading to them from any direction. It was as if Ethan had materialized on the spot and walked in circles for a few meters before disappearing again without leaving a trace of his exit. Behind the scenes of the forensic analysis of the footprints, advanced techniques were used to confirm that the prints were genuine and recent. Track analysis experts determined that the footprints had been made within 24 to 48 hours of the discovery, perfectly coinciding with the time frame of Ethan's disappearance. More significantly, the depth and pattern of the prints indicated someone walking normally, not running or under extreme stress. The most disconcerting revelations came when teams conducted a systematic search of the surrounding area in an attempt to find additional evidence or clues as to how Ethan might have arrived at that location. In an area approximately 50 meters from the central clearing, investigators discovered objects that clearly belonged to Ethan, but raised more questions than they provided answers. The decision to expand the search revealed Ethan's personal items scattered in a way that suggested not accident or violence, but deliberate placement. His wallet was carefully positioned on a flat, completely dry stone, despite recent rain, with all documents and money intact. Approximately 20 meters away, his car key was hanging from a tree branch at eye level, as if it had been intentionally placed there to be found. The shift in understanding the nature of the disappearance occurred when teams discovered the most disturbing item: Ethan's smartphone, found in the exact center of the GPS coordinates, functioning perfectly, but with a fully charged battery despite having been missing for over 48 hours. Even more extraordinary, the last entry in the location log showed that the phone had arrived at those coordinates at 7:23 p.m., exactly when the impossible GPS data had stopped. The nonsensical physical evidence included a complete absence of signs indicating how Ethan had arrived at the location or where he had gone. There were no animal tracks, vehicle marks, or any other disturbance of the natural environment besides his own footprints and carefully positioned personal items. It was as if he had been transported directly to that specific location. The search team's mindset evolved from initial optimism to profound confusion as they realized that each discovery raised more questions. The presence of intact personal items ruled out accident or violent crime theories, but the physical impossibility of reaching the site by land vehicle, combined with the absence of a walking trail, created a puzzle that defied logical solution. The revelations about why search teams were more confused than enlightened included the recognition that they were dealing with evidence that transcended previous experience in rescue operations. "I've participated in hundreds of searches over 20 years," said Captain James Rodriguez, leader of the rescue team. "I've never seen a situation where all the physical evidence was present, but no logical explanation existed for how the person got to the location. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because attempts by experts to scientifically explain how the impossible events recorded by Ethan's systems could have occurred lead us to confront the limits of modern technology and our understanding of phenomena that transcend conventional science. The attempts by experts to scientifically explain how the impossible events recorded by Ethan's systems could have occurred lead us to confront the limits of modern technology and our understanding of phenomena that transcend conventional science. The transformation in the investigative approach happened when it became clear that conventional explanations for GPS failures could not accommodate the complexity and consistency of the anomalies recorded in Ethan's devices. The impact of the initial analysis on GPS technology failures revealed that experts were familiar with specific types of errors that satellite navigation systems can produce. Dr. Emily Rodriguez, a signal engineering specialist at Stanford University, explained that atmospheric interference, signal reflection, and even solar activity can cause significant inaccuracies. However, these types of errors produce characteristic patterns that are easily identifiable, she noted. What we see in Ethan's data doesn't correspond to any known type of GPS failure. The journey through attempts to explain the anomalies through technological sabotage or data manipulation revealed that even the most sophisticated theories faced significant obstacles. The theory that hackers or government agencies could have falsified Ethan's GPS data was seriously considered. especially given that he worked with sensitive automotive navigation technology that could attract the interest of industrial espionage. The hidden truth about why data manipulation theories were eventually dismissed was that they required technological capabilities that transcended the known resources of conventional criminal organizations. To falsify GPS data so consistently across multiple independent devices, including systems operating on different networks and protocols, would require resources suggesting the involvement of state agencies with advanced cyber warfare capabilities. The scientific approach applied to the case included consideration of theories about natural phenomena that could affect electronic systems in undocumented ways. Experts explored possibilities involving natural electromagnetic fields, geological formations with unusual conductive properties, and even rare atmospheric phenomena that could create conditions where GPS technology behaves unpredictably. Behind-the-scenes investigations into natural phenomena revealed that the specific area where Ethan's GPS signal had stopped possessed unique geological characteristics. Surveys confirmed the presence of mineral deposits with high concentrations of conductive elements, rock formations that could theoretically create localized electromagnetic fields, and underground structures that were not fully mapped by conventional geological studies. The most intriguing revelations came when geophysicists discovered that the region had been the site of unusual seismic activity in the months leading up to Ethan's disappearance. Although the earthquakes were too small to be felt by humans, they had created alterations in the underground rock formations that could theoretically affect the propagation of electromagnetic signals in unforeseen ways. The decision to consult experts in anomalous phenomena and experimental physics was made when conventional theories proved inadequate. Dr. Michael Chen, researcher in electromagnetic phenomena at the University of Colorado, proposed that certain combinations of atmospheric and geological conditions could create pockets of distortion, where electronic signals behave in ways that defy current physical models. The shift in scientific understanding included the recognition that GPS technology, while extremely accurate in most circumstances, still operates based on assumptions about signal propagation that may not hold true in all environmental conditions. We are discovering that there is much about interactions between technology and the natural environment that we still don't fully understand, admitted Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a navigation systems expert. The most speculative theories explored the possibility that Ethan had encountered some kind of experimental or military technological phenomenon that was being secretly tested in the region. The proximity of military installations and government research laboratories created possibilities that unconventional technologies were being developed that could interact with civilian navigation systems in unforeseen ways. A conspiracy mindset naturally emerged when conventional scientific theories proved inadequate, but investigators recognized that speculation without concrete evidence did not advance understanding of the case. The focus remained on rigorous analysis of the available data and a search for explanations that were both scientifically plausible and consistent with all observed evidence. The most uncomfortable truth that emerged from attempts at scientific explanation was that no single theory could accommodate all aspects of Ethan's case. GPS malfunctions did not explain the physical evidence found at the scene. Kidnapping theories did not explain the impossible movement data. Natural phenomena did not explain the precision and consistency of the anomalies. And data manipulation did not explain how Ethan and his belongings arrived at the isolated location. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because the discovery that Ethan's case is not isolated, but part of a broader pattern of GPS anomalies in specific areas of the Rocky Mountains, reveals aspects of this phenomenon that transcend individual explanations and suggest something systematic operating in this region. Comment below. Science doesn't explain it. If you're also realizing that even the most advanced scientific theories can't adequately explain the combination of impossible GPS data and real physical evidence found in Ethan's case. The discovery that Ethan's case is not isolated, but part of a broader pattern of GPS anomalies in specific areas of the Rocky Mountains reveals aspects of this phenomenon that transcend individual explanations and suggest something systematic operating in this region. The transformation in understanding the nature of the mystery occurred when investigators began systematically mapping other disappearances and technological anomalies that had occurred in the same general region over the past decade. The impact of discovering similar cases was profound when analysis revealed that at least 9 other people had disappeared in the Rocky Mountains under circumstances that included GPS anomalies, impossible tracking data, or the discovery of physical evidence in locations inaccessible by conventional means available to the victims. Even more disturbing, all these cases shared similar demographic characteristics: young, technically skilled professionals traveling alone through remote areas. The investigative journey through these cases revealed that Marcus Johnson, a 31-year-old aerospace engineer, disappeared in 2021 after his navigation system registered movement through areas inaccessible by land vehicle. Lisa Chen, a 28-year-old software developer, disappeared in 2022 when her tracking devices showed her location instantly, jumping across distances of tens of kilometers without passing through intermediate points. The hidden truth about these patterns was that they were concentrated in a specific geographic area that researchers informally began calling the Warpise Zone, a region of approximately 200 square kilometers in the Rocky Mountains, where technological anomalies were reported with a frequency statistically impossible to explain as coincidence. More significantly, the zone included multiple military installations and government research laboratories operating classified projects. The investigative mindset had to evolve to consider that the anomalies might not be random technical failures, but the result of deliberate interference or testing of experimental technologies affecting civilian navigation systems. The proximity of the distortion zone to facilities such as NORAD, advanced weapons research laboratories, and military technology testing centers created possibilities that classified activities were creating unintended side effects. Behind-the-scenes investigations into military correlations revealed that many of the anomalies coincided temporally with periods of heightened military activity in the region. Analysis of public records on training exercises, equipment testing, and research activities showed correlations that were difficult to ignore. During months when more military exercises were conducted, more GPS anomalies were reported by civilians in the area. The most disturbing revelations came when researchers discovered that some of the facilities in the region were involved in research on technologies that could theoretically interfere with satellite navigation systems. Projects related to electronic warfare, advanced communication systems, and area denial technologies could create electromagnetic fields powerful enough to affect civilian devices at considerable distances. The decision by some military veterans to break their silence about activities in the region has provided disturbing insights into the nature of the projects being conducted. Sergeant Robert Martinez, who had worked at facilities in the area between 2018 and 2022, confidentially revealed that there were projects being tested that produced effects that were not fully understood, including interference with electronic equipment at long distances. The shift in official attitude toward discussing these patterns was evident when military and federal authorities began actively avoiding any public acknowledgement of the anomalies. Requests for information under the Freedom of Information Act regarding activities in the region were consistently denied on national security grounds, and officials refused to comment on correlations between military exercises and civilian anomalies. The evidence for why authorities avoid discussing these standards includes legitimate concerns about operational safety, but also recognition that some of the projects being conducted in the region might be operating in legally and ethically questionable areas. If experimental technologies were causing unintentional civilian disappearances, this would create enormous legal and political liabilities. The information containment mentality extended beyond military considerations to include concerns about public panic and interference with legitimate research operations. If the public knew about some of the projects being tested in the region, there would be political pressure to suspend research that is critical to national security, explained an official who asked to remain anonymous. The most unsettling truth about the patterns discovered was that they suggested disappearances like Ethan's might not be accidents or isolated events, but predictable side effects of activities that continued to be conducted despite known risks to civilians. The sophistication of the designs and the persistence of the anomalies indicated substantial investment in technologies that operated beyond normal public oversight. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because 6 months after Ethan's disappearance, an unexpected discovery provided physical evidence that completely transformed the understanding of his fate and revealed aspects of the technology involved that forced authorities to reconsider all their assumptions about the case. 6 months after Ethan's disappearance, an unexpected discovery provided physical evidence that completely transformed the understanding of his fate and revealed aspects of the technology involved that forced authorities to reconsider all their assumptions about the case. The shift in the investigation occurred when an independent geologist conducting research on mineral formations in the region discovered an object buried superficially in an area approximately 2 kilometers from the coordinates where Ethan's belongings had been found. The impact of the discovery was immediate when geologist Dr. Thomas Wheeler recognized that the object was neither a natural formation nor conventional trash abandoned by campers. The item was a metallic device approximately the size of a smartphone, with a smooth surface that reflected light in an unusual way, and which emitted a weak but detectable electromagnetic signal using basic scientific equipment. The journey through the initial analysis of the object revealed properties that defied conventional categorization. The device was composed of metallic alloys that did not correspond to any known material of conventional commercial or military origin. More significantly, spectrographic analysis showed that it contained elements in proportions that suggested manufacture using highly advanced metallurgical processes that were beyond known industrial capabilities. The hidden truth about what the object revealed about Ethan's fate emerged when technicians discovered it contained data stored in digital format. Using specialized data recovery equipment, investigators were able to extract information that included detailed records of Ethan's final movements, but also data on technologies and processes that were clearly not of civilian origin. The investigative mindset had to adapt quickly when data analysis revealed that the device had recorded not only Ethan's location, but also information about unidentified vehicles, military personnel, and activities that corresponded temporally to the period of his disappearance. The data suggested that Ethan had been intercepted by a military or intelligence operation during his journey. Behind-the-scenes technical analysis of the device revealed disturbing connections to advanced military technology being secretly developed in the region. Electronic components identified in the object matched classified research projects related to tracking systems, advanced satellite communication, and capture and containment technologies being tested by private military contractors. The most unsettling revelations came when specialized cryptography revealed that the device contained records of communications between military personnel during the period of Ethan's disappearance. The communications mentioned interception of civilian, containment for interrogation, and transfer to secure facility, language that suggested Ethan had been deliberately captured rather than simply disappearing. The decision to deepen the investigation was made when it became clear that the device provided direct evidence that Ethan's disappearance was not accidental, but the result of a coordinated operation involving government resources and authorization. Even more alarming, the data suggested that similar operations had been conducted against other civilians in the region, validating patterns that researchers had previously identified. The shift in official attitude happened dramatically when federal agencies were informed about the discovery of the device and its contents. Within 48 hours, the investigation was classified under National Security Authority, all data was confiscated, and personnel involved in the analysis were instructed to sign confidentiality agreements under threat of criminal prosecution. The evidence for why the investigation was suddenly classified included official acknowledgement that the device contained information about highly sensitive military programs that could not be revealed without compromising national security. However, the speed and intensity of the official response suggested that the findings had exposed activities that transcended normal legal authorization. The containment mentality that characterized the official response included not only classification of evidence, but also active efforts to discredit findings and discourage further research. Dr. Wheeler was contacted by federal agents who suggested that public discussion of his findings could result in serious legal consequences, and local media were discouraged from reporting on sensitive aspects of the case. The most disturbing truth about the discovery of the device was that it confirmed suspicions that disappearances in the distortion zone were not accidental side effects of military testing, but the result of a deliberate program that was using extra-legal methods to acquire civilian personnel with specific expertise. The device essentially documented evidence of government abduction conducted under the cover of legitimate military exercises. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject because 18 months after Ethan's disappearance, recent developments have revealed aspects of his family's ongoing efforts to uncover the truth and the new technologies being applied to the case in attempts to penetrate the veil of secrecy surrounding the investigation. Comment below. Government is involved. If you also realize that the discovery of the military device and the sudden classification of the investigation confirm that Ethan's disappearance was the result of a deliberate government operation, not an accident or natural phenomenon. 18 months after Ethan's disappearance, recent developments have revealed aspects of his family's ongoing efforts to uncover the truth and the new technologies being applied to the case in attempts to penetrate the veil of secrecy surrounding the investigation. The most significant transformation in the current situation came when Sarah Chen, Ethan's fiancée, made the courageous decision to hire private investigators specializing in cases involving sensitive government activities and possible official cover-ups. The impact of the family's independent investigative efforts was profound when they managed to uncover aspects of the distortion zone operations that authorities had managed to keep hidden. Using a combination of analysis of public documents, interviews with retired military veterans, and collaboration with investigative journalists specializing in national security issues, the family built a compelling case that Ethan was a victim of an unauthorized government program. The journey through the findings of the family investigation revealed that the activities in the region included much more than simple military equipment testing. Sarah discovered evidence that multiple federal agencies were operating unconventional recruitment programs that used methods that transcended normal legal authorization to acquire specific expertise from civilians with advanced technical qualifications. The hidden truth about what the family uncovered through their independent investigation included documentation of government spending patterns, contracts with private security companies, and personnel activities that suggested ongoing large-scale operations in the region. Most significantly, they identified at least 12 other cases similar to Ethan's, where families had been discouraged from pursuing investigations through legal or financial pressure. The family's investigative mindset evolved from a search for personal closure to an active campaign for government accountability when they realized that Ethan's case represented systemic violations of constitutional rights affecting multiple families. Sarah became a public advocate for greater transparency regarding military activities affecting civilians, working with civil rights organizations to push for reforms. Behind the scenes, the application of new technologies to the case in 2024 included the use of artificial intelligence data analysis to identify patterns in government records that human investigators had missed. Advanced algorithms were able to correlate hiring activities, personnel movements, and operational expenses, revealing the complete infrastructure behind the unauthorized recruitment programs. The most promising revelations came when commercial satellite image analysis technology allowed independent monitoring of activities at military installations in the region. High-resolution images documented the construction of new underground structures, the movement of specialized equipment, and activity patterns that correlated with periods when civilians disappeared in the area. The decision to use blockchain and advanced cryptography to preserve evidence was made when the family recognized that documents and data related to the case were being systematically classified or lost by government agencies. By creating immutable records of their findings, they were able to establish a timeline of evidence that could not be altered or suppressed. The shift in legal strategy included coordinated efforts to declassify information about the area through multiple simultaneous Freedom of Information Act lawsuits. Working with lawyers specializing in government transparency, the family is forcing agencies to justify classifications that appear to be protecting illegal activities rather than legitimate national security. Evidence regarding efforts to declassify information has revealed extraordinary resistance from government agencies that normally cooperate with transparency requests. Requests that would normally be processed in weeks or months are being delayed for years, and when documents are finally released, they are so heavily censored that they are virtually illegible. The official mindset seems to be to wait for public interest in the case to gradually wane, allowing controversial operations to continue without scrutiny. However, the family's persistence and growing national media attention are making this strategy less effective, creating political pressure for greater accountability. The truth about why the case remains an unsolved mystery is that it exposes activities that transcend normal categories of authorized government operations. If fully revealing what happened to Ethan would require admitting that federal agencies were conducting civilian abductions for forced labor programs, it would create political and legal crises that could destabilize entire aspects of national security operations. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because 18 months after Ethan Walters sent his last message before mysteriously disappearing, we have reached the point where we must confront the fundamental questions his case raises about the limits of governmental power and our ability to protect individual rights when they conflict with claims of national security. 18 months after Ethan Walters sent his last message before mysteriously disappearing, we arrive at the point where we must confront the fundamental questions his case raises about the limits of governmental power and our ability to protect individual rights when they conflict with claims of national security. The most profound transformation this case provokes is not merely about an engineer who vanished leaving behind impossible GPS data, but about our understanding of the hidden territories where democratic accountability meets operations that transcend normal legal oversight. 18 months later, Ethan Walters remains officially missing, but his impossible GPS trail has raised disturbing questions about technology, secret territories, and what can really happen when travelers stray from conventional routes and inadvertently enter zones where normal rules of civil society don't apply. The lasting impact of his case on public perception of travel safety has been profound, but it has also revealed aspects of government operations that many would prefer not to acknowledge. The journey through the last 18 months has revealed that Ethan's disappearance was not an isolated event, but part of a systematic pattern that continues to operate despite increasing exposure. His unwitting courage in meticulously documenting his journey through multiple tracking systems has created a unique record of how civilians can simply vanish when they encounter operations that exist beyond conventional legal frameworks. The hidden truth about Ethan's legacy is that he inadvertently provided irrefutable evidence that unauthorized government programs are operating with impunity in territories that are officially under civilian jurisdiction. His technical expertise and obsessive security protocols created documentation that would be impossible to intentionally replicate, validating aspects of government operations that normally remain completely hidden. The mindset required to prosecute a case like this demands confronting uncomfortable realities about how our government works and the limits of democratic protection for individual rights. Ethan's story forces us to question, in an era where every move is digitally tracked by multiple redundant systems, how can someone simply disappear, leaving only data that defies the laws of physics? The most profound revelations about this case don't come from conspiracy theories, but from documented evidence that Ethan unwittingly collected through his meticulous approach to travel safety. His impossible GPS data, combined with physical evidence found in inaccessible locations, created a puzzle that forces the acknowledgement that advanced military operations are being conducted in ways that affect civilians without their knowledge or consent. The decision to honor Ethan's memory requires both acknowledging his tragic situation and using his story as a catalyst for greater transparency regarding government activities that operate beyond normal oversight. Sarah Chen and her family have transformed personal grief into a campaign for accountability that is forcing national conversations about the limits of government power and the protection of civil rights. The shift in public awareness regarding the risks of traveling through certain areas includes the recognition that nominally, civilian territories may in reality be under the control of military operations that do not hesitate to intercept civilians who inadvertently interfere with sensitive activities. Ethan's case created awareness of warping zones where civilian technology may not function as expected and where the presence of unauthorized individuals can result in severe consequences. The most unsettling question that emerges from Ethan's case is whether we are willing to accept that there are areas in our country where constitutional rights can be suspended without due process, where civilians can be captured without warrants, and where operations can continue indefinitely under classifications that transcend democratic oversight. His impossible GPS trail has become a metaphor for the hidden ways in which governmental power can operate when not subject to normal legal constraints. Ethan Walters' lasting legacy may lie in how his story demonstrates that individuals can still expose powerful truths even when facing seemingly insurmountable forces. His meticulous documentation of a seemingly routine trip created evidence that authorities were unable to completely suppress, and his family continues to fight for answers that could redefine our understanding of government accountability. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because Ethan's story leaves us with collective responsibilities, both to honor his involuntary sacrifice and to protect future travelers, and to maintain democratic vigilance over operations that prefer to function beyond the reach of civilian oversight. Comment below. Technology doesn't protect us. If you also feel that Ethan's case reminds us that even our most advanced tracking systems can't protect us from operations that operate beyond normal legal frameworks and have the resources to manipulate or suppress evidence. Ethan's story leaves us with collective responsibilities, both to honor his unwitting sacrifice and to protect future travelers, and to maintain democratic vigilance over operations that prefer to function beyond the reach of civilian oversight. What strikes me most about this investigation is how it forces us to confront our vulnerability in the face of forces that operate with resources and authority that transcend normal legal protections. Ethan Walters wasn't just an engineer on a business trip. He was a meticulous person who did everything right, used all available technology to ensure his safety, and yet simply disappeared in a way that challenges our understanding of how our own government operates. His impossible GPS trail remains a mystery 18 months later, but the evidence he unwittingly documented through his systematic approach to safety forces us to acknowledge that there are territories in our country where normal rules simply don't apply. Sarah and her family continue to fight for answers, not only for personal closure, but because they recognize that what happened to Ethan could happen to any of us. Perhaps the most important lesson we can draw from Ethan's case is that our most advanced tracking technology does not protect us from operations that have the resources to manipulate data, suppress evidence, and operate beyond normal democratic accountability. His story reminds us that civilian oversight of government activities is not paranoia, but a fundamental responsibility in a society that values individual rights. If you've made it this far with me on this journey through one of the most genuinely unsettling technological mysteries of recent years, you understand that this isn't just a story about anomalous GPS data, but an exploration of the limits of governmental power and our ability to protect fundamental rights. Comment below. GPS doesn't lie on its own. If you also feel that Ethan's impossible data represents evidence of technologies and operations that transcend our current understanding, click like if you value this type of investigation that uses technical evidence to explore larger issues of government transparency and the protection of civil rights. It is this engagement that allows me to continue dedicating weeks analyzing complex data and collaborating with experts to bring clarity to cases that authorities prefer to keep obscure. If you want to continue exploring these mysteries, where modern technology reveals hidden aspects of how our government really operates, subscribe to the channel because every week I bring cases that show how digital evidence is exposing operations that prefer to remain invisible. There's a video over here about another mystery on Mount Shasta, travelers who enter and never return. Click and stay with me there, because the universe of modern, technological mysteries is revealing aspects of our reality that are far more complex than we imagined.